must have been like flipping a coin, so to speak. Thus to speak. When they were coming up with a republic at the time of the revolution. They must have known there is a very distinct possibility that if we even take the power from the people as they go out in the streets and put it in people they vote for that uphold their reasoning, and there's enough of a buffer. See, that was done in the time of muskets. We've got the internet now. That was in the time of muskets. I heard a comedian, it might have been, I'm not even going to say the name, somebody talking about Second Amendment rights, and I'm a firm believer, and I believe in it. If it gets so tyrannical, it's just so funny to see that everybody else is believing it now too. I mean, like they're like, it's tyrannical. They're not even arguing about guns and hunting anymore. It's about guns and fighting. But yeah, so the idea of putting one person, voting them in, and all the angry demos, the Greek for people, all the demos, they're like and by the time they get the letters through the postal service at that time and answer and go stand someplace after a couple-day train ride, everybody forgets. And it just rolls along. It just rolls along, baby. I was hoping you'd come. Do what? Momentito. Oh. Hi, baby. Okay. Well, you know what? Let them wonder who I'm talking to. I thought about this earlier. I'm taking all the magic out of the show. I'm standing there talking to somebody over there, and you don't know if I'm talking to myself. And I actually have somebody that I can bounce things off. Just told the kid last week, you can tell by looking at somebody what they think. And that's it. We talk. You don't hear it. What I'm wondering is what you heard me talking about when you stepped out the door and stepped into this thing to where you might be commenting, what the fuck did I just watch? What was I talking about? Do you remember?
No, I just realized that you were doing a video.
I was talking about the Republic.
Oh.
I was talking about the flip of the
American?
coin. The Republic Union that we have. That's what the United States of America is a republic. Somebody that's got, okay, so we'll go over this really quick. Somebody that's got a person to stand for them. It's not just one person, it's many. And that's the whole idea. E pluribus unum, baby.
You're my guy.
Out of many, one. But they flipped the coin when they decided to make that part of it. Because they knew, even back then, That's why I was saying they kept the Second Amendment rights in case the government becomes so tyrannical, and who knows whose side you're on when you pick up your weapon. Everybody thinks it's only the Republicans that have rifles. How can you even think about taking anything over right now after all the people you spent time with in the military? They're either one, they're the other, or they don't care. And that means 2/3 of the people could possibly be against you, depending on what that third one didn't seem to care about that day. Oh, baby. And so they must have known. They must have known. All these people have to do is vote their own nutcase. Oh. Come with me if you want to live.
Oh, I like that part.
That's gonna have to become a playlist. I like that part. So that's it. They just they reached the point. I've realized now why we needed to have the Second Amendment, because there are people that are going to have to defend themselves to uphold their system of beliefs. It's not going out and taking everything over. The people that you're going to find are probably a little bit smarter than those who think they're right, are going to be smarter than those who think they're right. The whole thing was set up on a flip of a coin. And so at this point, when Republic decides to have maniacs speaking for them, it's going to happen.
Saw that
Bill Maher?
Bill Maher, thank you. His clip that he just did very recently. I don't know how much I should say but that's really exactly it. That's no matter what happens on that night, this is what
he
that
talked
person
about
is
that?
gonna say. Yeah.
Wait, he talked about what happens on that night?
Yeah.
Wait.
So come 2024, no matter if such person
decides to
is
say
on the ballot,
that poor guy.
No matter what happens, no matter what the outcome, this is what he would say. And you know,
I was about to talk about the ride home.
so,
Took the step, Danny. I knew she would be coming out. We didn't plot this. We didn't conspire. We did not breathe. Yes, we did. We breathed the same air on this. We were in the same household, breathing the same air, and I was thinking, I'm gonna go out and talk about this, and she's gonna come out, and by me exhaling my thoughts, well, I didn't suffer any carbon dioxide giant. I didn't. She followed, and I wanted to talk about how we got to have a family experience today. Oh, siete.
Siete too. This is family.
The step Danny, she went to the, what do you call it with me? Siete? Siete? Oh, siete. went out into the world with me today, and I was speaking of things about the way it is to be on the road, and it seemed like it all showed itself. It was just a grand adventure. We laughed and laughed and laughed. We got flipped off. I had my seatbelt off. It was just, it was like, is he...
She couldn't wait to tell me.
Like, oh, really?
She barely can, like, even acknowledge that any other person's in the house besides her. Yeah, how's your fine? You know, good. Those kind of answers. Oh, no, she came right out into the living room and told me all about it. Oh, yeah, we got flipped off.
He was very polite about it. I've never been so politely flipped off in my life. I attribute it to the fact that the guy didn't mean it.
She was very excited about the whole experience.
But he meant it. He was upset until we got behind him and followed him for 20 miles every turn he took. Coming up out of nowhere, there'd be a couple cars in between. He was so packed in trying to get ahead of everybody that I don't know if he was trying to get somewhere in a hurry. Maybe he had to piss. Maybe he needed a hospital visit. Maybe he was afraid.
Like a kidney transplant.
Maybe he was afraid. And he was trying to get, but so he put himself in positions where he couldn't see, and then all of a sudden we'd be right behind him again. And at the one place where, and I was saying it to her under there, the whole time he's looking in his rear view mirror, he's seeing us back there talking and laughing and, you know, talking obviously about him. He's thinking we're chasing him now. We're at the light. It's a blinking yellow turning onto the one, which you can sit there like Eddie Murphy and keep somebody behind you if you want to and bust out. But if first chance he got, he took off, and I said, he screwed up. And I was able to get out before turning a red light right behind him. And she's going, look at him, look at him, look at him. He's speeding. He was just like, whoa, flying down that empty road way ahead of us. And I'm like, it's okay. I said, he's going to run into those people at the next light. And then we go through that 25 zone, and I'm going to be right creeping up on, and slowly over these little hilltops, you can see him coming again. I'm doing the speed limit. And we just got up to him before it even got to those places. And it was just like, ah. And I told her, I said, he went from a sweat, like a nerve-wrenching road rage by ending up in front of me with me behind him. We should have followed past his house just to keep any more trouble from happening in the future. He knows where I live. And he's always laughing. And we just laughed about it. I said, you know, that's it. He went from the nerved rage of the road to, oh my gosh, he's behind us. He's not even raged at the road anymore. It's following that spectrum perfectly. It's right there at that place where it's just like, now he's scared. It's the same feeling as rage. It's It's the difference between, you see, Dr. Wayne Dyer said there's, you know, this neurotic, phase one. The next step is striving, which you can say all you want about striving, at least you're trying, but it doesn't mean you're accomplishing anything. And then there's coping, which means you're doing all right. And then there's mastery. It's like nothing touches you at all. It's just, so he followed on some kind of line, but he was still stuck in like, he went from neurotic to striving. Now he's sweating with fear. He just wants to get through this. And we followed him for miles and miles. And it was such, to me, a good experience, you know, a shared experience. I talked about how people attack me left and right, and she saw it, and I said, and usually I don't even have to fight because I can get into their heads.
She's a very
she just
disappears, doesn't she? She doesn't say a word.
She was smiling the whole time when I looked over.
Good. Yeah, oh yeah, she's into it. She's into it.
Yeah, she doesn't. We've both been pulled over with her in the car.
Many times. Even
with
this
the
last
police.
adventure with that guy who was like checking her out with the Challenger, revving his vehicle. Oh my gosh, that went on for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
She might be doing the best thing possible. She might become president of these United States one day, and it'll be one of those people that everybody says, it's like Christian Bale in the Batman. I didn't know he was somebody. He's been acting since he was in Empire of the Sun. You know, there's somebody that's always there that nobody knows about, and that's what she could be. She just sits there and grins and watches, and she's paying attention.
She's very good at being invisible when she needs to. She's very good.
I think that when we got pulled over that time, she and I, that probably the cop felt sorry for, you know, her, didn't want to embarrass her by taking me to jail for...
Yeah, I'm sure that was it. Oh, I don't want to embarrass this.
It was very convenient.
We were
all wearing masks. Everyone was wearing masks. This is one of the best things you can ever have with a cop, because all you gotta do is crinkle your eyes like you're smelling a fart, you know? It's the soap opera, it's the Friends, Joey, fucking small fart. It's a very serious thing. But if you just do that under your eyes, it makes it look like you're smiling. They trust you. So as far as the Republic goes, you know, baby, it's a flip of the coin. They knew something was about to happen in a couple hundred years. That's a very short frame for people that think in long terms. And so they left the Second Amendment in because they knew we were going to have to be fighting in our neighborhoods at some point. They knew that they wouldn't follow the militia thing, like a well-organized militia. They're like, they won't. But they at least have to have guns to fucking keep something out and kill this thing that we created that allowed us to vote for people who think like we do. That's the scariest part, is finding so many people that think exactly the same way to vote for somebody that thinks exactly like them. It's not human to think exactly the same way as everybody else. And that was the measure that was supposed to keep us safe. But now they've made insects out of several of us. They've made insects out of us. And I killed an earwig today.